Well, Gday Team, welcome back to the Shed 2.0 episode, what are we, 7 of the Veteran Series. And today we're talking about veteran sports, okay, and adaptive sports. So, why are we talking about this? Look, the Invictus Games, everyone would have heard about it in some shape or form, brought veteran adaptive sports to the forefront and changed a lot of lives and brought it out into the public eye. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat about that today. Hope you're joining us each week with Stephen Centipento on 2CC Capital Radio Canberra. So let's get into it, team. What are adaptive sports or veteran adaptive sports? Look, I'm going to give you an example of 3 major events that most people would know about, certainly in the veteran community. We've got obviously the Invictus Games that Prince Harry instigated and had a great part of. We've also got the Warrior Games in the States, and we've also got the Marine Corps Trials. There's a number of other adaptive sports arenas for veterans, certainly in the States, and also starting now in other countries, like there's the adaptive skiing in Canada. There's a number of different organisations engaging with this and getting stuff happening with it. So what is adaptive sports? It really is basically about veterans that may be injured in some shape or form, participating in sports like cycling, archery and all the rest of it. So there's a number of sports. Again, if you jump on the Invictus side or the Warrior Games site, you can see that they do shooting, they do rowing, they do cycling, they do powerlifting, wheelchair tennis. I know for a fact, there's a couple I know very well started doing archery together. It's brought them together. They travel around competing, both very competitive archers. Another young bloke I know who in his local area got the archery club on board and started a veterans archery group. So things like that allow veterans with injuries to participate. But I'd like to go a step further than that. And let's have a talk about veterans in general. Now, there's a number of different options out there, okay, and again, for adaptive sports, there's Veterans Sports Australia that can link you up with organisations. There are a number of community organisations that you can also link up with. I'll give an example in the wheelchair rugby or wheelchair basketball realms. Those that go to the Invictus Games or compete in that arena, they get onto their local wheelchair organisation that allows them and helps them get on board and do that type of training, so when they go to do their selections and trials they can do so. But what about the veteran that isn't injured? What is to stop, and this is again one of my biggest sort of questions to these ex-service organisations that bang on about helping veterans. It's all about benevolent and got the arse out of my pants instead of maybe let's just help veterans. Now, again, I made a point in the last episode about a family going to an RSL and the dad said, I'd like to play footy and my daughter wants to play hockey. All right, or she might want to play footy too. What's to stop these organisations like the RSL, Defence Care, Soldier On, Mates for Mates, not only assisting these people get into these organisations, all right, but also subsidising and helping them get involved? It might be mum wants to play golf. Then let's help them and their family get involved in the community. This is not about just veterans hanging with veterans. This is about helping veterans integrate with the community. Not be this separate part or this special part of the community, but to reintegrate from service back into the community. What better way to do it than sport? So what can we do, team? Well, as I just said, we've got all these ESAs out there that profess to help veterans and want to help veterans and blah, 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 and yet they hoard money and they don't spend it and they have bank accounts bigger than probably the Reserve Bank. How about they start loosening their purse strings and start helping veterans and their families get out there, get involved in sport, get involved in activity. It doesn't have to be sport. God, it might be the local crochet club. It doesn't matter. There are community organisations out there. As veterans and veteran organisations, we don't have to invent new ones. My God, they're out there. Let's get our veterans interacting with the community. Let's get our veterans and their families out there and as part of the community that they have served. And I can guarantee you, every single veteran that has helped to do that will honestly be welcomed with open arms. The community will embrace them. The community will embrace the organisations that facilitate this. Well, team, again, I'm pretty passionate. So I figured today I might finish with a bit of a story, and that's not all doom and gloom and me having my point of view on things. Look, I was lucky enough to compete in the 2014 Invictus Games. An absolutely outstanding experience, life-changing for both my wife and I. And I think my wife still, she always talks about, the fun we had over there. She actually, I remember once she turned around whilst we're over there and said, "Oh, my husband's like Homer Simpson," and they all laughed. And I said, "God, I mean, he's a bit chubby, but he's not bald. What are you on about?" And she basically said, "Oh, he said he was going to meet royalty one day, and here he is." And we were meeting Prince Harry. My wife also got to. We were on national TV, I remember, at the Australian consulate and all the rest of them. But the biggest thing I got from the Invictus Games in 2014 wasn't any of that, wasn't meeting royalty. It was actually meeting people that had served in the same theatre that I had. Because I'm a Bosnian veteran, there's only a very few, limited amount of Australians that have served there. And I was able to talk to people that were there when I was there, that were there before me and after me. So the cathartic and part of that, and the ability to get out there and compete and have a laugh and enjoy competing. Did I win anything? No, but by geez, I had some fun. I remember the indoor rowing. I was competing against people at least half my age, and I gave them a run for their money till that last few hundred metres. Then age caught me. 216, again, another life-changing experience for me. I was able to go over as a carer for a young 21-year-old. Amazing to see what this young man did. Life-changing, like I said. 217, I was able to assist with a little bit of administration with the team here in Australia before they went over. I was actually invited to go over, but because of literally RSL bullcrap politics, I was asked not to go. But hey, that's life. I made the choice not to. And then here we are in 2018, I was the ambassador for RSL New South Wales. An outstanding event and an outstanding life-changing event. Now, I am going to leave with one thing, and this I'm going to be interested to see the response to it. At the end of last year, the Australian Prime Minister signed off on the sports medal for all 2018 Invictus Games athletes that competed in Australia at the Australian Invictus Games. And for the continuing Invictus Games, the athletes will be given the sports medal. I ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, I sent you an email, 8 months it took your people to get back to me with an unsatisfactory answer. What about the 90 others that competed in 214, 216 and 217? Aren't they worth that as well? Hey, that's a question to you, Prime Minister. I don't think I'll get an answer from you. Hey? But just throwing it out there. Team, this has been Scott, the Shed 2.0. Given my opinion as usual. Love to hear your comments. Put them down below. Open arms will be down below too. And also make sure you should share, subscribe, get this out there. Let's get people and listen to 2CC, Steve Centipento in Capital Radio Canberra. See you later, team.